IronPigs fans, Mike Ventola with you as we're excited to have Matt McBride with us. And Matt, first and foremost, hope all is well. And secondly, how have you and your family been doing throughout this quarantine process?
Yeah, Mike, thanks for having us. Yeah, no, we're doing well. It's like everybody, just trying to stay busy, get outside when we have a nice day like today, and sooner or later, got to figure out. I think like everybody, got to get a haircut at some point. So might have to do it myself, or we'll see. But yeah, no, things are going great.
Yeah, I've noticed some people have been brave enough to cut their own hair, or their wives, or if they're with other family members, are willing to cut your hair. So if you get to that point, would you yourself do it, or would you have Catherine have to cut your hair?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think either way, I'll give her the benefit of that. I think she'd do a better job than I would.
I mean, I wouldn't trust myself with clippers or a buzzer. Forget. It would be one thing. I'd be like, all right, let's get the shaving cream out. Let's go. Just get it down
Yeah,
to the minute.
yeah, just keep it simple.
Right. Exactly. So, well, Matt, you had recently, of course, announced that your professional playing days. You're turning the page. You've announced your retirement, and as you are getting ready to jump into the next stage of your life and your career, what are you excited most about as you're taking a step forward?
Yeah, I mean, I was really lucky and grateful to have the chance to play professional baseball, and really enjoyed my time. Got to see a lot of great things, different parts of the country and even the world, and meet a lot of great people. But yeah, just for me, obviously I'm getting a little bit older here, mid 30s, and in baseball terms, that's getting older. So yeah, past couple years, I was realizing that I'm going to have to make a next step, and after this year, it sort of seemed like it was the right time, and wanted to be have a little bit more of a stable, not traveling as much, and being able to stay home with my wife and my daughter, and my future daughter. We have another one expecting in July. So yeah, but no, I'm excited about what's next.
No, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. But I did want to talk to you, of course, kind of jumping into the past a little bit about your playing days, because it goes back to growing up here in the Lehigh Valley in Bethlehem, and going to Liberty High School, eventually going to Lehigh, and then of course your professional career. And when you think about your time going way back to when you were in high school, and eventually when you made your way to Lehigh, was there a specific moment during your high school days or even your college days at Lehigh that really stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, a bunch. Just starting with high school. We had a great group of guys and coaches. The Coach Dudak, the Patsilises, and other coaches. Not even gonna be able to mention everybody, but yeah, we had a lot of great teams. My junior year, we got second in the state, just missed the state title at Liberty, and I mean that was just a really awesome experience, fun run. And then in college, I mean, same thing. Coach Leary, you know, great guy, great coach, as well as all the other coaches that were there. And same thing. Junior year, we ended up winning the Patriot League championship and made the playoffs the other freshman and sophomore year. So it was, I think both my junior year at Liberty and my junior year at Lehigh were very memorable, winning the championships in their leagues respectively. And yeah, it was just a lot of good times and great memories.
When you were going through the process too, and knowing that you were getting ready to play collegiate baseball, how important was it to, one, stay close to home, and two, was it your meetings with Sean Leary, and of course getting a chance to see the campus at Lehigh, that really drove you to deciding to become a Mountain Hawk?
Like, just to be full honesty, I think I always wanted to go down south and play, like when I was little. And it sort of changed though as I got closer to college and in my high school. As I got older in high school, I always like, I want to go down to, I don't know, North Carolina or Florida or whatever. And as you know, the whole recruiting process started, I didn't realize what a great thing I had in my backyard. And I'm really happy and fortunate that Lehigh and Coach Leary recruited me. And going through my junior year and whatnot, and speaking with him, and realized not only the baseball side of it, but the education side of it, how important that was going to be, because obviously you're not going to be able to play baseball forever. And having that degree was going to be really important. So, I'm so happy I made the decision to go to Lehigh. Coach Leary was a big part of that. But to be honest, I think if you had asked me when I was 12, I would have thought I was going to go down south and play. But I'm really happy and fortunate that I went to Lehigh.
I know those SEC schools, they're exciting, but of course the Patriot League, great competition, as you of course know, being in the front lines and that. And when it came time to that, scouts were looking at you, and I'm sure you're going through that process of knowing that you were going to get drafted and to go to play professional baseball. And when the Cleveland Indians, gave you the call and said, "We're going to take you," one, were you surprised that maybe it was a team like Cleveland, or maybe you kind of knew something as you were talking to them ahead of time? And secondly, knowing that, man, I'm getting drafted, I'm going to go play professional baseball. What kind of impact was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, man, that was a special moment. I mean, it was nerve wracking, but at the same time, it was really exciting. And going into the draft, you had an idea of certain teams that had more interest, and the Indians were one of them. And I was just happy. I'm happy it was the Indians, but it wasn't like I was specifically focused on the Indians. But like one little funny story, actually, the Red Sox had called right before, and then something happened. They said they were going to pick me. It was like a couple picks after the Indians, and the Red Sox scout called me and was like, "Would you sign whatever if we picked you in this at this pick?" And I was like, "Yeah." Well, then the Indians ended up picking me just a couple picks before, and so right after I got drafted by the Indians, the Red Sox scout calls me and was congratulating me, and I was like, man, this is weird, but I was like, thank you, really appreciate it. And he was sort of going on, really nice guy, but I was like, this is a little bit weird. Like, why is he? And then finally at the end, he was like, I'm just really happy that we were able to draft you. And I was like, wait a second, the Indians actually drafted me. And he was like, wait a second. And then he looked and he was like, oh man, he's like, good luck in your career, and see you along the way, or something to that extent. But it was just it was funny in the moment.
Now, obviously, I'm sure because like anything else with this game, your journey takes you in different avenues. At any point after that moment, did you ever reconnect with that scout at all? Did he ever like reach out to you, say, "Hey, Matt, glad to see things are going well for you," or was that kind of like the last moment you spoke with that scout?
Yeah, I don't believe bumping into him in the future, but a lot of times, like amateur scouts will scout on the pro side once like the amateur draft is over in June. So, but we never actually like personally bumped into each other again. But yeah, he was a great guy. It was a funny little hiccup there. When I look back, it was a funny memory.
And as you were making your way up through the Indian system, and as you got yourself integrated and got yourself acquainted within the system, was there a teammate or a coach that you really enjoyed, whether it was playing for, playing with, and maybe had some sort of mentorish type role to you, especially when you were a young rookie, as you were getting yourself situated in the professional ranks?
Yeah, every organization had a lot of great coaches I can think of, but just right off the top of my head, my his name was Chris Tremy. He was our catching coordinator when I first got drafted, and then he was our South Atlantic when I played for the Lake County Captains, which was low A for the Indians. He was our manager there. So I really enjoyed playing for him. He really no nonsense guy, but if you went out there, played hard, and respected the game, he always had your back. I just felt like I learned a lot about the game from him, and it was really great. These past 2 years, he was the manager in Columbus for the Columbus Clippers, the Indians AAA team, and got a chance to bump back into him again after a bunch of years. So it was just great, getting a chance to seeing him again.
And I know it was hard too, because for professional athletes, they are going to sometimes have to play on the opposite end of the country where they're from, or in a different country, depending on where they're coming from and things of that nature. And for you, as you were coming up through the Indian system, because of where the Cleveland Indians are located and their affiliates, you did have the opportunity to get somewhat closer to home. When you were with Akron, you did have the opportunity to play down in nearby Reading, and I know too. A former a current Reading resident is a current Indians coach in Mike Sarbaugh. Did you play for Mike, and did you get a chance to interact with him at all?
Yeah, no, he managed me in AA in 2009, and then also in AAA for parts of a couple years. So we've still texted back and forth occasionally. Actually, I helped do Rich DeLucia, who was played in the big leagues, and he lives out in Reading. And actually, I helped him out at one of his facilities in the fall, and Mike was going to come over, and but it didn't work out. I think he was away doing something. But yeah, no, I mean, like you said, I mean, I had great memories from a lot of these different coaches, and he was another one. And Reading itself, that was always a great place to play, because that was, I mean, really close to home, and that's a unique field. I mean, there's for one thing, there's no bathrooms in the dugout, so there were times where you're playing and maybe you're up like fifth, and you're like, all right, you got to run in. Maybe you have to grab something in the clubhouse, but you got to literally walk through the concourse basically. And I remember a couple of times. Actually, like one time specifically, like four of my buddies were at the game, and I bumped into them, and they were like talking. I'm like, I gotta go hit. I'm like, I'm in the hole here. I gotta run back out. Like, what do you like? But I mean, I mean, you're not going to get that at too many other ballparks.
No, not at all. I can attest, having worked there for 5 years before currently working here for the Lehigh Valley IronPigs, and that was always one of the more interesting things I'd seen in my time in the minors. Is when fans get that close to interact with players such as yourself, and then then comes the time where you end up get traded. You end up going out to Colorado, where then eventually you get the opportunity to get up to the big leagues. And what was your experience like playing for the Rockies, and then getting that opportunity to get to the major leagues for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, I was, I think, I got drafted in July of 2011, right at the trade deadline. And, like, I enjoyed my time with the Indians, but sometimes like a fresh start can help things. And yeah, I mean, I was lucky in the situation I got put in. And in 2012, I had a pretty good season in AAA, and yeah, to get that call is what you always dream of as a kid. I mean, aside from getting drafted, now it's like, wow, like now you're actually going to the big leagues. And even when you're working up the ladder in the minor leagues, sometimes it's like you get the call, you go to the manager's office, and you're going up to low A to high A, and then high. But when you're in AAA, it's like, wow, the next step isn't 4A, it's the big leagues. So yeah, it was a special moment, and we were in Iowa playing Iowa Cubs, and my dad actually made the trip, so that was a fun time to have him there. And actually, when I got scratched from the lineup, because usually they'll scratch you right before the game, just so you don't get hurt. My dad was like wondering, oh, I wonder what happened and all that. So it was great to be able to go out of the clubhouse after the game, and actually I had to ask him for some cash, because I had to pay the clubhouse manager, because I didn't have any cash on me. And I was like, "What? Yeah, I need the cash, because I'm going to the big leagues tomorrow, and I need some money to pay him." So it was awesome.
Yeah, you got to pay those dues. I know.
Yeah.
You're like, crap, I gotta, you forget about it, but those clubbies, they definitely need their dues. Now with that too is, getting the opportunity playing games at Coors Field, getting a chance to venture to other major league ballparks. Was there a favorite big league ballpark that you enjoyed playing in, whether it was at Coors Field or a ballpark on the road?
Yeah, I mean, I will say, Coors Field is one of my favorites. I always like playing in Seattle. I think I played 2 series. I mean, it wasn't like I was there a lot, but I don't know. I always liked the Northwest. I mean, even in Tacoma, that's their AAA for the Seattle Mariners. And early April, not so hot, but if you're there in like July, August, I mean, I just love the weather. And yeah, it was just a cool city. Stadium was a unique stadium. So yeah, Seattle was up there.
When you when you got to the big leagues, and of course you're in the clubhouse, and there's guys that, have only been, in the big leagues a few years, guys that have been there a long time. Was there any of the older players, guys that have been there for a while, that kind of, welcomed you in, kind of, showed you the ropes or a little bit? Or was there, a specific teammate that really stood out to you during your time in the big leagues that you really got close with?
I mean, we had a lot of young guys in Colorado during my time, but we also had some, we had Todd Helton, Justin Morneau was there, Michael Kadire. So, Troy Tulowitzki. We had a lot of, I've heard some stories about some other teams where, guys can give younger guys a hard time, but, with the Rockies now, as long as you went about your business the right way, it was a good time. And, we had a lot of, I think back on our 2013 AAA team, we had Nolan Arenado at third, Corey Dickerson in the outfield, Charlie Blackmon in the outfield, DJ LeMahieu, Charlie Culberson, who's with the Braves. We had a really stacked team, and they all went up to the big league. So like that whole core group was up there, but we were all young at that point.
And then, with all that as well, too, you end up, of course, going to the Oakland A's for some time, and then bringing things back close to home back in 2018 when you signed with the Philadelphia Phillies. What was that process like, knowing that you were getting a chance to sign with the Phillies? Was it something where they reached out to you, and then conversations just kind of picked up from there?
When I finished my last season in AAA with the A's in 17, I was focused on, man, if I could get the opportunity to play in the Phillies organization, what a dream come true would be. So we reached out to them, and just sort of we're talking, and then once, I think it was, I'm trying to remember when I signed, maybe like November, I think it was like December, maybe it was December, when I actually finally got the offer to sign with the Phillies. Like I said, it was just growing up a Phillies fan, and going to Reading Phillies games as a kid, and watching games in Reading. It was just a really awesome dream come true that I was able to sign that contract.
And then, too, look, you signed. You're hoping that, man, I can play in Philadelphia, play at Citizens Bank Park, but, you end up getting the opportunity to play Coca-Cola Park, and you're playing for the Lehigh Valley IronPigs right in your backyard for 2 seasons. And, when you got the opportunity to really step out on the field and kind of just indoctrinate yourself here with Coca-Cola Park and everything Lehigh Valley, did you kind of have to almost sit there and say, man, been everywhere, I've been on this journey, but now I'm back home? How cool was that?
Oh man, yeah, it was awesome. To have family and friends be able to come to so many games. My wife has always been super supportive, and our daughter was able to make games, and my mom and dad, they were instrumental. Still are, but always supported me growing up. So to be able to have it where they can just drive 15 minutes to the stadium and watch the game was really special. And it seemed like every night there was always something or somebody that I was bumping into that I hadn't seen in maybe 10 years. So and not to mention it's a beautiful stadium, one of the nicest, if not the nicest, in all of AAA. And I've played in every AAA stadium in the United States, so I can say that confidently that it's definitely one of the nicest, if not the nicest. So and we get great fan support, so you can feel the energy whenever you're out there playing. So yeah, in so many aspects, I was really lucky.
I know Kurt's going to be very happy to hear that you're giving us an A+, which is awesome. So you end up your first couple games were on the road, but then on your first game at home, you end up hitting a big grand slam in your first home game for the IronPigs, and kind of a really cool moment, just because it's, some people say you always want to hit that walk-off home run, but for you it's a grand slam. Fans are going crazy. I'm sure your family's enjoying it, and as you kind of look back to whether it was that moment against Louisville or some of the other moments as an IronPig, was there a favorite moment in your 2 seasons with the Pigs that you really really enjoyed, that really was your favorite moment?
I mean, yeah, that definitely was up there. On opening night, my first game there, that was probably the game that I had, probably the most people at. So that was, just really, really special that, that it sort of all came together, and somehow it all, somehow it all aligned for that game. But no, I mean, yeah, I mean, just some fun things too. I think it was in 2018 we were playing. Man, we played Buffalo, I think, like before and after the All-Star break, but we won like it, something ridiculous. We won maybe like 4 out of 6 games or something like that in extra innings. And every one, I mean, it was like no matter what, we go to extra innings, they tie it up, and then we just kept winning. And I always thought that was like, I don't think we've ever, or I've been a part where we just were on such a roll that, winning in extra inning games, like we probably had like 4 of them or 5 of them in a matter of 5 or 6 games, and winning every single one against the same team. It was like you said, I just thought it was always a fun little time. And we had a great group of guys there, fun team. And even this past year, we had a lot of young guys, but it was still it was a fun season. And there's just all in all, there's a lot of good memories.
Now I got to ask you, because I mean, I've had the ability to be a part of a few of them, but no matter what level, no matter what moment, champagne showers when you're getting a chance to go to the playoffs, still probably one of the best things, right?
Oh man, yeah, that's yeah. I think man. I felt bad for our clubhouse manager, Jay Ross.
Hey, Ross.
Oh man, he had his work cut out, and he had his work cut out for him that day, and it was a blast, and we definitely like I said, the whole season was fun, and just a lot of great times.
And with all that as well too, and kind of bringing things now, post your playing days, and you talked about a little bit what you're up to now. You're actually getting ready to start your new job on Monday, May 4th, working with Edward Jones Financial. What are you looking forward to most about this new venture? And I guess where do you have to report to work? Hopefully, it's not too far away from home.
Yeah, be nice. I'll just be able to work right out of my house, at least to start for a little while. So that'll work, especially in these tough times. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm really lucky. I've enjoyed playing baseball and having that the length of my career. It was just a lot of fun, and I've always had an interest in investing, and I'm just really excited to get started, and I feel like I feel just excited about it right now. I mean, I know it's new and all, but it's something that I think I'm going to I know I'm going to enjoy doing, and looking forward to working with people in Lehigh Valley, and just learning as much as I can about it. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
No, and I know too, you talked to some people that kind of helping you get in the door a little bit. One of your former assistant coaches, John Bisco at Lehigh, and some other folks close to you that kind of you sought out for advice, looking things of that nature. So, talking with those folks, and I know you kind of covered it just here mostly, but was it talking with them too that really kind of put a cherry on top? Like, all right, this is what I definitely want to get into.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I mean, the past couple years, I knew that I'm gonna have to do something after baseball, and this was something that I always strongly considered. So once the season was over this year, I was really lucky to be in a position to speak with John, and he gave me some great advice. And I can't even think of how lucky I was. There's so many people like Aaron Furman. He actually played professional baseball in the area. He got drafted by the Tigers, and he actually works with Edward Jones in Phillipsburg. So he gave me a lot of good advice as well. And Jack Muscalis played with him at Lehigh. Another guy, Judd Walters. So really lucky to have as much input as I did, and I was really fortunate of that. And to just get an idea of what I'm about to undertake. Getting into this new career.
And you're not getting away from baseball entirely, at least, not here locally. You're working with two former Phillies folks such as yourself and pitching coach Steve Schrank and athletic trainer John May at the Powerballers baseball program. For those watching who don't know what the Powerballers baseball program is, tell us a little bit about it. And two, was it Steve and John that kind of opened up the door for you to get involved?
Yeah, I mean, it was well. First, I always, even though I want to sort of go in a different direction in baseball, I always want to sort of still have my foot there, and I just always love playing the game and being able to now sort of coach it, not play it is still going to be still lucky to be able to do that and to have that opportunity with the power ballers and. I'm truly lucky. And with Steve and John May, I mean, two great individuals, and I was so happy that we sort of all reconnected here. And I mean, it's the first season with them, and obviously with everything going on, everything's a little bit tougher. But we're making the most of it with Zoom calls and trying to get as much as we can in and seeing what the next steps will be as far as the possibility of when games and tournaments can start. But, hopefully sooner rather than later, but obviously everybody needs to be smart and, but yeah, there's a lot of great coaches also involved. So it's a lot of, very fortunate.
Two things. One final question in regards to these two things. When baseball resumes, will IronPigs fans see you and your family still coming to Coca-Cola Park?
Oh man, I'm looking forward to coming to some games and not really having the pressure of the game on the line. I mean, it's obviously it's fun playing. I loved it, but being able to sit in the stands with my daughters and my wife and just sort of experience it with like a hot dog and a soda or something like that. It's gonna be great and really looking forward to it. And there, all the guys that and women that work at the stadium are so great. So being able to get a chance to see everybody again, and even the players and coach like Jonesy and the manager, it'll be fun to get back there and reconnect with everybody. So hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah.
No, yeah, hopefully you and everyone else here in the Lehigh Valley will get the opportunity to see in baseball at some point this summer. But Matt as well too. It's been great getting a chance to reconnect with you, talk with you. So happy for you and your wife and for Maggie that you're expecting someone else. Expecting another daughter come July. Not asking you to reveal it, but have you and Catherine have you picked out a name? I mean, I'm not asking you to reveal it, but have you picked out a name yet?
Not yet. We're still working on that, but yeah, we're seeing if our first daughter Maggie, maybe she'll help us with that. But but yeah, no, we're excited. Haven't picked out a name yet, but looking forward to July, and it's gonna be a little bit crazy, but it's gonna be a good kind of crazy.
No, that's awesome. So congratulations on what's been an awesome career for you. Looking forward to staying connected. And like we said, hopefully that you guys will get a chance to be at the ballpark enjoying a game and continue health and success to you and your family. And glad that you guys are all doing well. Thanks for doing this with us.
Yeah, no problem, Mike. Really enjoyed it and look forward to hopefully seeing you at the ballpark and everybody else as well.
Folks, that's Matt McBride. That's Maggie. So she's excited to be a big sister come July. So as always, IronPigs fans, thanks for watching and look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. Thanks, Mike.